Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. Dun, dun. It's a raccoon with a talk show slinging culture facts you might not know. From the biggest flops to the greatest hits, this is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hey guys, it's Beaton. Welcome back to my newest episode of Trash Can Tidbits. Last week, I asked the question, which Street Fighter characters were added to the roster because of the players' response to the Shenlong incident? The answers are Akuma and Guken. Akuma first appeared as a hidden boss character in Street Fighter Alpha 2, and other iterations of Street Fighter 2 have you fighting him if you reach the end of the game with no continues and under 25 minutes. Guken was created in the Street Fighter manga as Ryu and Ken's master, and his appearance even mirrors that of an April Fool's prank by Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine, which was created to cash in on the Shenlong myth. Guken was finally added as a playable character in Street Fighter 4. With now that addressed, let's get started with fact number 1. Did you know that one of the actors who played Tarzan went on to marry the daughter of Tarzan's creator, Edgar Rice Burroughs? In 1927, Burroughs discovered James Pierce, a professional football player who played the part only once in the silent movie Tarzan and the Golden Lion. That movie ended up not being a big success, and Pierce never played Tarzan again. But 1 year later, in 1928, he married Burroughs' daughter, Joan. Fact 2. Did you know that actress Julia Stiles has starred in 3 modern movie adaptations of Shakespeare plays? The first and most obvious of these is as Kat Stafford in 10 Things I Hate About You, which itself was based on Katharina in Taming of the Shrew. The second movie is O, which is based on Othello, and in which she played Desi Brable, aka Desdemona. And the third movie is Hamlet, which was made in 2000 and set in New York, but took the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet touch of retaining the original dialogue. Stiles played Ophelia, while Ethan Hawke played Hamlet. Fact 3. Did you know that the movie version of the musical Kiss Me Kate, which itself was based on Taming of the Shrew, was actually made in 3D? There are many dance sequences in which the actors utilize things like throwing things at the camera to give the appearance of interacting with the audience. A good example of this is actress Ann Miller singing the song Too Darn Hot, in which she throws her gloves at the camera. Most 3D prints of the movie have since been destroyed, but there is a publicity photo of Cole Porter, the musical songwriter, watching the movie wearing 3D glasses. I thought that was a really cute Easter egg. Fact 4 comes from my friend, Beastly Drohan. Did you know that there was an anime series continuation of Lilo and Stitch? This show, which is a semi-sequel to the American-produced Lilo and Stitch the series, sees Stitch moving to a Japanese island and befriending a girl named Yuna. When the show was dubbed into English, none of the voice actors who originated their roles ended up reprising their characters. It is worth mentioning, though, that the English voice actor for Stitch was Ben Diskin, who has since had major fame with such characters as Number 1 on Codename Kids Next Door, Young Xehanort on Kingdom Hearts, and most recently, and importantly, Haida on Agretzko, and Jack on Beastars. This fact is extra cool since I actually met Ben at Anthrocon last year. Thanks for sharing that with me, Drohan. Fact 5. Did you know that there was a Lone Ranger movie in the 80s that attempted to begin the brand over with an unknown actor? The Legend of the Lone Ranger was released in 1981 and starred a former football player named Clinton Spilsbury. The idea that they were going for was that by casting an unknown, the producers hoped to recreate the success that Superman did by casting a then unknown Christopher Reeve. Now, judging by how difficult Spilsbury was, though, they probably should have cast Christopher Reeve. It also didn't help that Clayton Moore, who played the character on TV in the 50s, was still making public appearances in character, and it was clear that he was not ready to give up the mask to somebody else. Also, still, the movie had the misfortune of opening the same weekend as Raiders of the Lost Ark. To this day, Spilsbury has not made another film. Fact 6. Did you know that Jack Nicholson made his film debut in the original Little Shop of Horrors? And I'm not talking about the movie musical version. He first appeared as the masochistic dental patient in the original Roger Corman B movie cult classic, which was infamously made in a total of 2 days. In the scene where he appears, you can see a bunch of creepy-looking dental tools on a table, including pliers and forceps. Those same exact tools show up in a later Nicholson movie when he emerges from plastic surgery as the Joker in Batman. Fact 7. Did you know that prior to Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube, there was a Mario game released with each major Nintendo console launch? The NES had the original Super Mario Bros., the SNES had Super Mario World, even the Game Boy had Super Mario Land, and most importantly, the N64 had Super Mario 64. With the release of the GameCube, however, Super Mario Sunshine was the first game in the series to not launch with their console. Each new subsequent Mario game on future consoles have not been launch titles, although the wait would definitely be worth it for all of them. Fact 8. Did you know that Robot Chicken and Family Guy alum Seth Green appeared in both the movie and the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer? He notably played the role of Daniel Oz Osborne on the show, in which he was a love interest for Willow before he becomes a werewolf. But for the 1992 movie, he played a red-headed vampire that attacks the title character in a fight scene with a group of other vampires. He says that his role was cut down to a mere 3 seconds and you can only see the back of his head. However, Joss Whedon, who wrote the movie but it ended up being taken out of his control, promised him a better role, and when Oz came along for the TV show, he took it. Fact 9. Did you know that rock band Simple Plan sang the theme song to the Scooby-Doo cartoon, What's New, Scooby-Doo? They'd also contributed a song to the second live-action Scooby-Doo movie, Don't Want to Think About You. The band also allowed the use of their songs in a couple of episodes of the show, including I'd Do Anything and The Worst Day Ever. The band themselves even appeared on the show in the episode Simple Plan and the Invisible Madman, in which the Mystery Inc. gang helps the group find out who is sabotaging their attempts to perform at a concert. Fact 10. Did you know that the SNES version of the classic beat-em-up game Final Fight notably did not have the two-player co-op mode, which was essentially the main drive to play the game in the first place? Notably, 2 of the 3 playable characters were actually playable in this port, Cody and Hagar, and made absolutely no reference to the third playable character, Guy. You could only play as Guy by getting a special expansion of the game, Final Fight Guy, which was only available for rental at Blockbuster. And here's this week's trivia question. Broadway actor Norm Lewis recently made history for being the first African-American actor to play the role of the Phantom of the Opera on Broadway. Though the first black actor to play the role period was Robert Guillaume, famous for playing Rafiki in The Lion King. Playing opposite him as Christine, his love interest was Sierra Boggess, an absolute angel of a young lady who has become the definitive Christine of this generation, playing the part in Las Vegas and London, and even originating the role in Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom sequel, Love Never Dies. Though this was not the first time Norm and Sierra performed together, as they were in another Broadway show in which they played father and daughter. My question to you is, which Broadway musical based on a beloved Disney movie did Norm Lewis and Sierra Boggess play father and daughter? And there you have it. I hope I've been challenging you all out there with these random trivia questions. I can't wait to bring you more stuff next week. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell for future video notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.